Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Jesus Joshua Know. Let's dive into the history behind this connection. In Christianity, April is a significant month, especially because it often includes Easter, the most important Christian holiday celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. However, the exact date of Easter changes each year because it is based on a lunisolar calendar. The first Sunday after the first full moon following the spring equinox. Key Christian observances and April varies by year. Palm Sunday, the Sunday before Easter, commemorating Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem. Holy Week, the week leading up to Easter, including Maundy, Thursday, Last Supper. Good Friday, Crucifixion of Jesus. Holy Saturday. Easter Sunday celebrates the resurrection of Jesus, usually in late March or April. Divine Mercy Sunday, the Sunday after Easter in the Catholic tradition. On fixed dates in April 25th, Feast of St. Mark Evangelist. In some Christian traditions, would you like specific dates for Easter or other movable feasts in a particular year? The Sunday before Easter, commemorating Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem. You're referring to Palm Sunday, the Christian observance that falls on the Sunday before Easter. It commemorates Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem, when crowds welcome him by waving palm branches and laying them on his path. Matthew 21:1-11, Mark 11:1-11, Luke 19:28-44, John 12:12-19. Key aspects of Palm Sunday. Symbolism of palms represents honor and victory. In some traditions, palms are blessed and kept for Ash Wednesday the following year. Processions. Many churches reenact Jesus' entry with palm or branch processions. Start of Holy Week marks the beginning of the most solemn week in Christianity, leading to Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection. When does Palm Sunday occur? Since Easter's date changes yearly based on the first Sunday after the first full moon following the spring equinox, Palm Sunday also shifts. Here are upcoming dates. 2025, April 13th Easter, April 20th 2026, March 29th Easter, April 5th 2027, March 21st Easter, March 28th. Would you like details about how different denominations observe Palm Sunday? Holy Week, the week leading up to Easter, including Holy Week, is the most sacred week in Christianity, commemorating the final days of Jesus Christ's earthly ministry, his crucifixion and resurrection. Here's a detailed breakdown of its key days and observances. 1. Palm Sunday significance. Celebrates Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem, where crowds wave palm branches. John 12:12-13. Observances. Processions with palms or branches. Matthew 21:1-11. Readings of the Passion narrative. Jesus' suffering and death. 2. Holy Monday and Holy Tuesday significance. Jesus teaches in Jerusalem and confronts religious leaders. Key events. Cleansing of the temple. Matthew 21:12-17. Teachings and parables, e.g. the fig tree, the 10 virgins. 3. Spy Wednesday, sometimes called Holy Wednesday. Significance. The day Judas Iscariot conspired to betray Jesus. Matthew 26 minutes and 14 seconds. 16. Observances. Tenebrae services, Latin for darkness in some traditions, with gradual extinguishing of candles. 4. Maundy, Thursday. Significance. Commemorates the Last Supper and Jesus' washing of the disciples' feet. John 13:1-17. Key events. Institution of the Eucharist, Communion. Luke 20:19-20. Jesus' agony in Gethsemane. Matthew 26 minutes and 36 seconds. 46. Observances. Washing of feet. Catholic, Anglican, some Protestant churches. Stripping of the altar symbolizing Christ's abandonment. 5. Good Friday significance. The crucifixion and death of Jesus. John 19:30. Observances. Veneration of the cross. Catholic, Orthodox traditions. Stations of the Cross, reenacting Jesus' path to Calvary. Fasting and solemn prayers. Many Christians abstain from meat. 3 hours devotion. 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., marking Jesus' time on the cross. 6. Holy Saturday, Black Saturday. Significance. Jesus' body lies in the tomb. The harrowing of hell. 1 Peter 3:18-20. Observances. Easter Vigil after sunset. The first Easter celebration with fire, candles, and baptisms. Great Silence, a day of quiet reflection in some traditions. 7. Easter Sunday significance. Celebrates Jesus' resurrection. Matthew 28:1-10. Sunrise services. Mark 16:2. Festive worship with hymns, e.g. Christ the Lord is risen today. Feasting and family gatherings. Breaking Lenten fast traditions by denomination. Catholic, Orthodox, highly liturgical. with processions, incense, and veneration of the cross. Protestant varies, some focus on simplicity sermons, hymns, others incorporate dramatic reenactments. Eastern Orthodox follows the Julian calendar, often later dates with unique services like the Lamentations on Holy Friday. Would you like specific Bible readings or historical customs for any day? Maundy Thursday, Last Supper. Maundy Thursday, the Last Supper, and the washing of feet. Maundy Thursday, also called Holy Thursday, is the Christian observance commemorating the Last Supper of Jesus with his disciples, the institution of the Eucharist, Holy Communion, and the washing of the disciples' feet. It marks the beginning of the Paschal Triduum, the three most sacred days in Christianity: Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and Easter Sunday. Biblical foundations. Last Supper, institution of the Eucharist. Jesus shares the Passover meal with his disciples. Matthew 26-17:30, Mark 14:12-26, Luke 22:7-20. He breaks bread, saying, "This is my body," and shares wine, saying, "This is my blood of the covenant." 1 Corinthians 11:23-26. Judas Iscariot's betrayal is revealed. John 13:21-30. The washing of the disciples' feet. Jesus humbly washes his disciples' feet, teaching servanthood. John 13:1-17. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. John 13:14. The new commandment. Mandatum. Origin of Maundy. Jesus gives a new commandment: love one another as I have loved you. John 13:34. The word Maundy comes from the Latin mandatum, commandment. Agony in the Garden of Gethsemane. After the supper, Jesus prays in anguish before his rest. Matthew 26-36-46. How different Christian traditions observe Maundy Thursday. 1. Roman Catholic Church Mass of the Lord's Supper includes the washing of feet, replicating Jesus' act. The Gloria is sung, followed by silence until Easter Vigil. Transfer of the Eucharist. After communion, the Blessed Sacrament is moved to an altar of repose for adoration, symbolizing Jesus in Gethsemane. Stripping of the altar. The church is left bare, symbolizing Christ's abandonment. 2. Eastern Orthodox Church liturgy of St. Basil includes the mystical Supper Eucharist, washing of feet ceremony performed by bishops. 12 Passion Gospels are read, recounting Jesus' betrayal and suffering. 3. Anglican Episcopal Church's foot washing rite optional. It common stripping of the sanctuary after Eucharist. Vigil prayers. Some churches keep watch until Good Friday. 4. Protestant traditions. Lutheran, Methodist, etc. Communion service emphasizing Jesus' sacrifice. Some practice foot washing, especially in Baptist and Anabaptist traditions. Tenebrae services. Darkening of the church. 5. Unique customs around the world. Spain, Philippines, Visita Iglesia, visiting 7 churches to pray before the Blessed Sacrament. Ethiopia, fasting and night-long vigils. Germany, green herbs and food symbolizing bitter herbs of Passover. Theological significance. Each as central. Jesus institutes the sacrament of his body and blood. Servant leadership. The foot washing symbolizes humility and service. Preparation for the cross. The Last Supper foreshadows Jesus' sacrifice. Would you like prayers, hymns, or specific Bible passages from Maundy Thursday? Good Friday, Crucifixion of Jesus. Good Friday, the Crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Good Friday is the most solemn day in Christianity, commemorating the passion, suffering, and death of Jesus Christ on the cross. Despite its sorrowful nature, it is called good because of the redemptive salvation achieved through Christ's sacrifice. John 3:16. Biblical account of Good Friday. 1. The trials of Jesus before the Sanhedrin. Matthew 26-57-68. False witnesses accuse him. He is condemned for blasphemy before Pontius Pilate. John 18:28-40. Pilate finds no fault, but yields to the crowd's demand. Before Herod Antipas. Luke 23-6-12. Jesus is mocked and sent back to Pilate. Pilate's final judgment. John 19-1-16. Jesus is scourged, crowned with thorns, and sentenced to crucifixion. 2. The way of the cross. Via Dolorosa. Jesus carries his cross to Golgotha. John 19:17. Simon of Cyrene is forced to help. Mark 15:21. Jesus meets his mother Mary. Tradition from the Stations of the Cross. 3. The Crucifixion. 9 a.m. 3 p.m. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Luke 23-34. The 2 thieves. 1 repents. Jesus promises paradise. Luke 23:39-43. Woman, behold your son. John 19:26-27 Jesus entrusts Mary to John. Darkness covers the land. Mark 15:33 My God, why have you forsaken me? Matthew 27:46 I thirst. John 19:28. Fulfilling Psalm 69:21. It is finished. John 19:30 Jesus dies. The temple veil tears. Matthew 27:51. Symbolizing access to God. Earthquake and tombs open. Matthew 27 minutes and 52 seconds 534. The burial of Jesus. Joseph of Arimathea requests Jesus' body. John 19:38. Nicodemus brings spices for burial. John 19:39-40. Laid in a sealed tomb. Matthew 27:59-66. Christian observances and traditions. 1. Catholic and Orthodox traditions. Veneration of the cross. Faithful kiss or kneel before a crucifix. Stations of the Cross. Meditating on Jesus' journey to Calvary. 3 hours agony. 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Preaching on the 7 last words. Tenebrae darkness service. Candles extinguished one by one. No mass celebrated. The altar is left bare. Communion is from reserved hosts. 2. Protestant observances and hymns. O sacred head, now wounded, when I survey the wondrous cross. Preaching on the cross. 1 Corinthians 1:18 The message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing. Communion services. Some denominations. 3. Eastern Orthodox Great Friday Royal Hours. Scripture readings on Christ's Passion. Epitaphios. A cloth icon of Christ's burial is venerated. Lamentations service. Mournful hymn sung. 4. Cultural and global customs. Philippines. Some practice actual crucifixion. Extreme devotion. Spain. Latin America. Somber processions with statues of Christ and Mary. Jamaica. Eating fish instead of meat. Ethiopia. Strict fasting. No food until after 3 p.m. Why is it called Good Friday? Good comes from an older meaning holy, or God's Friday. Despite the suffering, it marks humanity's redemption. Romans 5:8 By his wounds we are healed. Isaiah 53:5.
We hope you found this information interesting and enlightening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into our faith. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Part 2. What day of the month is April for Christianity?